Rejection doesn't feel great. And I understand why something like deciding to do cold approach pickup would be terrifying for any guy to do. Deciding to walk up to a cute girl, sober, at a bar, give her eye contact and say hi is a difficult thing to do. Why? Because what if she says no? What if she says no? What is everybody gonna think about you if she says no, or if she's even mean to you? And why does that even matter? Why does it matter the rejection? In this video, I'm gonna tackle that.
Yo, bitch, I got some buzzers clawing at my fucking stomach. I'm from the shadows, let the gallows.
Let's jump into the mindset of the general populace around rejection and approaching girls. If you were to talk to most people in society, what would they say about rejection? They would tell you they never get rejected. You know why they don't get rejected? Because they never put themselves out there. Whenever anybody wants to get good at a craft, you have to fail. And if you don't fail, you're not learning. Rejection and failure is a natural part of learning to be good at this, learning to be good with women in general. Nobody gets out there and puts themselves out there truly and doesn't get rejected. You can take anybody and put them into the situations that you've been in. And I'll say this, most guys, most people, take them out of their office, put them into a busy club sober to go talk to a cute girl, they could not do it for the life of them. And if they did do it, they would overthink that for months afterwards because they have an ego based on who they are. I'm not the guy that gets rejected by girls. I'm not creepy. I'm not this. I'm not that. They made all these rationalizations about this person they decided they are. So most of them don't even know that. Most of them will self-lie about the simple fact that girls like them. They'll tell themselves that Susie in the office was definitely checking me out the other day. She had to have been checking me out. Oh yeah, definitely. If I wanted Susie, I could get her. Oh, this guy over here with this hot model. If I wanted the hot model, I could get her. They don't even notice the ways that they self-lie. So they'll see a cute girl and they'll say, oh, I wouldn't want to impose, or oh, I'm not one of those creepy weird guys. Or maybe they're like, maybe that guy walking behind them 10 feet away is her boyfriend. Maybe her elbows are too pointy and you don't think it's your type. But if the girl's naked on your bed, would you have sex with her? This is the kind of stuff I've seen so many people do this self-lying mechanism with. And it's oftentimes the general populace. But as you start getting into this, a lot of you guys have been approaching for a while, what happens? You start finding and identifying all those little self-lies and you start ripping them out by the roots as you identify them one by one. And eventually, it gets easier and easier to approach, correct? As you take extroverted actions, as you give people eye contact, as you use your pauses, as you get yourself more loose, and whenever you want to do something, but you're fearful what other people might think, you decide, I'm going to do it anyways. These kind of actions, they make you more extroverted, they make you louder. They give you the ability to be truly extroverted, to become the popular kid, to make girls into you. There's a way you can speak and a way you can think. They'll make these girls like you. And a lot of this person that you have to move into is honestly being held back by the simple fact that most of you guys are feeling so much fear and pain through rejection, when in all actuality, you should be massively excited. Now, as for the second group, the community, the guys that have been doing this for a while, how do you guys view rejection? You guys are keeping track of your batting average. You guys I approach one girl, and if the girl doesn't want to suck your dick, you go back and you feel dejected, and you ruin your entire night by feeling that way. You're leaving a set and telling yourself, because I didn't have sleep with her, this is a rejection. You need to be looking at this as you warming up. These guys that count these batting average, they're autistic. Anybody does batting average, they make that this huge thing. It's an autistic thing to worry about. It's at the level they're at though, it makes sense because it's rational. It's something you look at. But when you're talking to girls, and if your mindset is one and done, two and that's your mindset, you getting in zone is not so logical. It's about lulling yourself to sleep. It's about talking to a girl and acting extroverted, becoming and acting as if you're already that guy that's in the zone, in the pocket. And by acting like him, guess what? You start becoming him. This is going to be the one that's going to make you the most attractive to women. This is going to be the one that allows you to approach again and again and again and mitigate rejection. It's actually going to raise your success. It's not just going to raise your success, but it's also going to make you become non-resistant to rejection. It's going to make you fully welcoming of it. Not even in a way of it preventing you from, not from a place of apathy, but actually even being excited. Excited not just for success, but also for rejection itself. Becoming non-resistant to it, because that which you resist persists. And the more that you learn to love rejection, the more that you learn to love the process, the less it will happen. You have to get rejected to win. Most guys are too much of a pussy to put themselves out there for a girl to get rejected. Most guys will drink and drink and drink, numb themselves to the pain. Then once they're plastered, wasted, drunk, then they'll go and say hi to a girl. This is not the strategy you want to be taken down because you will not learn from your mistakes. Most guys think that this is not a learnable skill set, that being good with girls is not something that you can get better at. But the simple fact that you're willing to risk rejection and time again go out and approach for that reason by itself means that you are putting yourself in the top 1% of the population, even less than. So the fact that you're willing to put yourself out there to get rejected is actually what makes you the top 1% guy by itself. So why become resistant to that? Why beat yourself up for when you get rejected? Because most guys will never experience that rejection. Most guys will hide away. They'll hide away from that pain. They'll never truly experience it. And for that, they become more of a meek and mild man, a weak man, soft, unwilling and unable to handle any kind of stressors. And that's not what, to me, that's not what being a man is. It's not about hiding from the pain. It's about leaning into it and learning to handle it. Learning to become tough because of it. When you are forging a sword, you put it into the furnace, you get it red molten hot so that you can clean up the edges, so you can make it sharper. Most people avoid the furnace. They stay this molten, they stay this solid chunk of iron that never gets molded into anything. It's just this piece, it's just a rock. You though, you're molding yourself into something different. You're making yourself something with a sharp edge. Whereas most people are dull and slow. Rejection is the reason that I'm so much more intelligent than when I was younger. It cleaned up my mind. It got rid of all the bullshit. It's the way that you burn fat off the meat. If you don't get rejected, how are you supposed to evolve and move forward? You never get any negative feedback. When you approach a girl, most guys will become resistant to the rejection. And by becoming resistant to rejection or fearing it, you treat it the same way some would treat a bar of soap. So I'll put it this way. So imagine you had a wet bar of soap in your hand. Most people, what they'll do is they'll take the bar of soap and they'll squeeze it, trying to make sure the bar of soap will stay there. And what it just do is squeeze it out. Whereas for some guys, what they do is they just hold the bar of soap and it's just supposed to be there. When you approach a girl, you assume the bar of soap will just be there. The girl's just going to want to talk to you. But I mean, if the bar of soap wasn't there, if the girl wasn't there, you'll have another one. You'll have it in one form or another. You'll always have this. If a girl says no to you, it does not stop you from getting another one. Now, what other guys do is they will talk to the girl and they will treat it like it's their life. It's like life or death. If they don't get this girl, their progress and their results with women are fucked. This is their one chance at love, and if it doesn't work out, then they're fucked. Because they're judging themselves in comparison to the girl. If the girl says no to me, then I must be a worthless piece of shit. Because she's treating me like a piece of shit. Instead of having an internal locus control and understanding that this girl does not hold what is valuable for me. I'm the one that gives myself value, not her. By the fact that I put myself out there to get rejected again and again and again. You think a girl can handle rejection? Because let's say this, girls are the worst at rejection. Girls have no idea what we have to experience when it comes to dating. Not until they get older. And even then, they don't fully understand it. The dating scene is so alien to each other, and the way some girls will treat guys is obscene, to be fair, but they're children. When it comes down to it, like in this situation specifically, she's a little girl. Are you going to really care what she thinks about you? Because she has no idea what you're experiencing or who you are or what you are. So why would you put so much weight on the fact of what she thinks about you? And I'll put it this way. Some people click, some people don't. Yes, you'll improve over time and you'll get better. You'll have more cleaned up mindsets, especially as you continue to build momentum in this, as you continue to continuously go out to rethink your results, to have the quality of effort, not just the quantity of effort. And maybe that this girl will think this of you now. But maybe in a year from now, you approach her again. You guys have a clean slate. She doesn't remember you, you don't remember her. But now you're a lot cooler, you're sharper, you're wittier, you're funnier. You're a lot more upbeat. You're more free of outcome. Now the girl's going to receive you in a completely fucking different way. So if this is the case, was it really rejection all along? Or is rejection a figment of our imagination, something that we make up? Something that we made up to make hard rules because we're guys? It's a lot more complex than a yes or no, than a rejection or success. So when it comes down to rejection, there's honestly no such thing. What do you think is the mindset of a guy who's truly good with girls? And I mean the kind of guy that goes and says hi to a girl and makes it successful. Do you know what it is? I'm just a sexy motherfucker. I'm a bad motherfucker. So when he walks up and talks to a girl, the words come easy. They flow easy. He's very creative and he flows with it because he assumes that because he's sexy, the words themselves don't even matter, but that actually makes him more in the moment and actually makes him wittier because he's not putting the girl on this pedestal. He's saying, I'm either at your level or above you. I'm a sexy, bad motherfucker. You should want to date me. You should want to say hi to me. Now, for this reason, he becomes wittier. You guys are always asking me, what do I do when I run out of things to say? The reason, you have to look at the core of what that is. You run out of things to say because you're putting all this pressure and you are putting this girl up on this pedestal that she doesn't even deserve to be on. This girl shits and pees, just like everybody else. And you're putting her on this pedestal, this thing that is like an art piece or like the Mona Lisa. This bitch is not the Mona Lisa. All right, she's just another little girl, and you're approaching her as the man. You're daddy. You're the sexiest motherfucker. You're the baddest motherfucker on planet Earth. So when you walk up and talk to a girl, it's easy as fuck to be creative, to have a witty conversation, because you're not overthinking it. You're just here in the moment. You assume your words are valuable because they come from you, because you're a bad motherfucker and you're sexy. Now, for some of you guys don't feel like this is the truth, but as you guys start believing this and you guys start leaning into this, you actually start finding girls will start feeding this energy back to you as you start believing this about yourself. So brainwash yourselves into thinking this. It's a massively powerful trick. I will oftentimes do mantras and visualizations. I will write 2.0 versions of myself where I plan it out and I think about the mindsets and how much this person must think. And I really try to ingrain this. I think it through on how this guy must think, this guy who's really good with girls, and I will brainstorm this probably about once to twice a week. And I sit down, pen and paper. Sometimes I just close my eyes and I think it through. And the more that I do this, the more that it gets solidified. And every day I try to act more and more like this person, and it becomes easier and easier to settle into this personality, this persona. So the more that you guys put your focus here, focus is the water that wears the stone. The more that you think about this, the more that you try to put yourself in this headspace, the easier and easier it will get. Now, last piece of this puzzle is something that I had to learn for myself. So whenever I go to the clubs, sometimes I'll have guys follow me around. You guys probably read comments. There's so often somebody who will say, yeah, I followed him around and I see him all the time and we just follow him around. Yeah, I see you guys doing this. I know this is going down. And sometimes what happens with me is that when I see you guys following me, I worry a little bit because I think to myself, look, if I approach a girl, and let's say it's just that one girl that is in a super shitty mood, her boyfriend just broke up with her, she had 100 losers approach her before me, and then here I come, charismatic and suave, and she rejects me harshly for these simple reasons that I have no control over. Then you guys see me doing this, and guess what? Denton got rejected. I knew it. Game couldn't happen. And now I'm writing game off and I'm going to go do something else. And I fucked your entire lives over because I overthought it and I worried about you. And now it's my fault. Well, what I realized is that ultimately I'm not responsible for anybody. Everybody's responsible for their own results. And if anybody has a chance of making this work, it's me. And that's the mindset right there. If anybody has a chance of making this work out, an approach with a girl, with a sexy girl, it's you. You're 1 in 100 to 1 in 1,000 for the simple fact that you approach. The majority of guys would have it way, way harsher than you do. If the girls were putting your shoes, put it in a guy's body, there's no fucking way they'd make it work. So think about it like this. You have the highest chance of making this interaction work. For the simple fact by itself that you're the kind of guy that approaches and works on himself. So don't put pressure on yourself to succeed when you don't see other guys in your shoes doing the same thing. You're comparing yourself against these imaginary guys that are out there that are supposedly approaching these girls and having all the women you want. Most guys are picking up girls from social circles. Most guys are too pussy to approach. So by the simple fact that you're approaching, you have the highest percentage chance. Don't beat yourself up like, how do I get to this end goal? Fuck that. Look, focus on what you can control. Focus on the approach itself. Then once that gets second nature, as you go out and you build momentum, then start focusing on the conversation. Practice your pauses, practice your eye contact. Then when that's second nature, then from there, maybe practice your pulling. Maybe practice your bad boy energy, maybe practice your CEO energy, maybe practice your push pulls. Like it's tiered. So you work at different things at different levels. But don't put so much pressure on yourself. Sometimes it's about setting boundaries. Sometimes it's about noticing when it's not your fault. Sometimes noticing when the girl's just being a fucking asshole. And when a girl's being an asshole, stand up for yourself on occasion. The reason for this being, don't do this all the time. Do this on occasion. If you feel like you have a problem with boundaries, do this just as resurrect boundaries for yourself. This is not always your fault. Sometimes a girl is just mistaken. And because she's mistaken, she'll be a little bit of an asshole. And just so you can prove this to yourself, I hope you have a better day. I hope your day goes better for you. Look, I'm gonna tell you this right now. You just said that to one of the baddest motherfuckers you're ever gonna meet. And if you want to continue dating losers, I suggest you keep up with the strategy. But if you want to date a cool ass guy, I'd switch up real fast. Draw boundaries. Don't do this all the time, but if it's something that you have an issue with, where you feel like the girls are constantly whiplashing you, you never stand up for yourself, you walk away meek and mild with your head bowed down, stand up for yourself, draw boundaries. Limit time in between interactions. Push it out. Push your goals. Keep track of how many girls you're approaching. And from here, don't beat yourself up for the rejections. They're just lessons. You got to reframe the rejections themselves. If you keep looking at rejection as this terrible thing that is just another mark, another mar, another blemish on this personality that is yours, that's stupid. There's no way in hell that everybody's ever gotten good at anything. They had to fail before they started getting good. Failure is a natural progression to getting good at something. You have to fail. You have to get rejected. Because when you fuck up, you don't want every girl telling you how awesome you are when you're fucking up. Like you want her to blaringly tell you how you're fucking up. I want to know why I fucked up so I can fix it. So next time I do it better. Rejection is a blessing in disguise. Once you get into a certain headspace, there won't be too many sets that you won't like or that won't work out for you, to be fair. So this is a good thing that I do all the time. I just hammer them out real fast. If I'm ever gaming by myself with my friends, I'll actually try to fight my friends over the sets. Like I had this friend, I had to sidestep him because he was so aggressive about trying to get to the girl. And we would just fight. We would fight to get to the girl. And a lot of my friends are like that. And I love that. Have the same mentality in your own local group. Be the one that leads by example. Inspire others by your approach ethic. If you're talented, if you're charismatic, if you've been actually practicing the things I'm telling you, you will have such amazing results. If you go out for 3 hours, you should be at least approaching 15 girls easy. If you approach 15 girls in 3 hours, you're going to go home with a girl if you've been doing what I've been saying. Now, in regards to you loving rejection, if you love rejection, you won't resist it anymore. That which you resist persists. And the less that you try to resist the rejection, the more that you try to not cause rejection, the more it's going to procreate and the more it's going to exacerbate the issue, the more that you're going to get rejected. So the second that you let go of rejection, again, let the bar of soap just sit there. Now you can truly move forward and start doing this seriously. Actually start learning rapidly instead of taking so fucking long to learn. You can either learn slow or you can learn fast. And the only way you're gonna learn fast is by letting go of rejection. So for you, think about this. What is that mindset of that guy, that future you, that it loves rejection, that loves approaching, that is drawn to the action, that is excited to be out there? How does he think? All right, and I want to embody that. Now, with that being said, peace.
Yeah, bitch, I got some buzzers clawing at my